Hello, 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 hello. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. You know who I am? This is your girl Raquel, and we got guests today, and he's in house. So come on in the room. We're gonna give you a few minutes to come in the room. I pray that everyone has had an amazing week so far. It's Thursday. It is. We made it to Thursday.
Is it?
And
it is Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Of course.
Today is Thursday. We made it to Thursday. So just come on in the room, guys. Come on in the room. And yeah, we gonna talk today. We got some good conversation. I'm gonna introduce you to the man that's here. Let me make sure that's turned down. Bam. Yes, it is. Hello. There we go. So we'll just wait for a few of you to come in the room. Somebody's here. Hello. Listen, you know how I am. Let me know who you are because you know we come here every Thursday to give you information, to have a space. This is a safe space where we get to talk about the issues and the situations and the achievements. It's not just about issues and situations, but we talk about achievements. We get to talk about what is going on in the LGBTQIA community. Right? We are here at the Twoc Healing Project, Trans Women of Color, right? Where our goal is to help people get on the path and on the journey to being healthy, healed, and whole. Welcome, welcome to Twoc Talk Thursday with your girl, Raquel. And Raquel has a guest today. And so I'm going to let my guest introduce himself. And there you
go. Thank you. Thank you, Raquel. First of all, thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for my partnership and my coalition that I'm building with Trans Women of Color Healing Project. I'm so happy to be in this amazingly beautiful space. If y'all have not been to an event here, stop waiting. What are you waiting on? Get over here. This is for community, and this space is absolutely beautiful in here. So, as you stated, my name, maybe you might not say it, but my name is Sebastian or Sebastian Smith. My pronouns are he, him, and king, and all things masculine and all those amazing things. I am here representing the I Am Human Foundation, as well as my 9 to 5. I am the organizing director at the National Center for Trans Equality, and I'm just happy to be here in the space.
Wow. We've got Sebastian here, right? So let me tell you this. I got to give a piece of my own story, my own experience with Sebastian. One of the things that I always think about when I think about Sebastian is I think about community. Why do you think about community, Raquel? Because I always see this man making it happen for somebody in the community. I always have seen this man talking about what needs to take place in our community, and not just talking about it, but he's one of the guys that when the rubber meets the road, he does the work, right? And he's real modest, right? And that's who he is, right? Innately, like for real, he is modest. He don't boast, he don't throw his name everywhere, but he is somebody who does the work where community is concerned. And so we are so grateful to have Sebastian here with us. And so I'm going to let Sebastian tell you about the work that he does, tell you about the work that pays him, his job, tell you about just what community looks like for him. And we're just going to have a great organic conversation. And of course, a little bit later, we're going to get into our Did You Know? And my coworker Dash is going to do that. And I'll bring Dash on in to take care of that portion. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Sebastian. Sebastian, where do you work?
So I work at the National Center for Trans Equality. I wear a bunch of hats. We always say that. So, of course, I volunteer my time with I Am Human, with you all, with other community-based organizations here in the South, not just in Atlanta, but all across the South. Because what we've seen is this heightened attack against us.
Okay.
Specifically, us in the South, right?
Absolutely.
There's Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, my hometown, Georgia, of course, Florida, all of these places. So a lot of the work that I do is concentrated right here in the area at the hardest hit, hardest targeted areas because our needs are unique.
Absolutely.
So that, kind of speaks to what I do at my job at the National Center for Trans Equality. We do a lot of policy work. So a lot of the anti-trans or anti-LGBTQI legislation that we see, we do a lot of talking directly to legislators, getting more legislators informed and educated about all of our experiences, not just trans people, but all of our experiences, because all marginalized people are being attacked right now.
Right.
Women, Black women,
absolutely,
cis women, and trans, the trans people, of course, our youth, parents, so many folks that are marginalized are being attacked right now. So my daytime job includes a lot of advocacy on the policy level. I have the amazing honor and sometimes not so amazing honor of getting to talk to politicians, getting to talk to the president, getting to talk to people who are on Capitol Hill at these highest level of the federal government, because those are the folks that can make these tangible changes for us. So that's just kind of a little overview of the work I do on a national scale, in the policy arena. But for me, why it was so important that I be in the position to do that work, not just I as in Sebastian, but someone that looks like me.
Absolutely.
Because there are not many folks who look like me, who bring everything, my community, the way that I do with me in these federal and national spaces. I'm in so many rooms where it's just me. It's just one of me. So I'm marginalized, on top of being marginalized, again, right? So that's why this work means so much to me, because there are so many spaces that we are not being accurately represented, that we're not in, that I'm happy to be able to be that for community, be that thorough way for my community to have these big time policy federal conversations.
Absolutely. And so when you say we, he's saying we because he's a part of the LGBTQI community, right? And so not only are you fighting for us, you're also fighting for your own rights and children's rights that are to come behind us, right? And except we have somebody who's standing on the front line, willing and able to fight for us, then we don't get policies changed. We don't get laws changed. There's not a difference that's made, and it's because of the work that you do, right? So I need you all to know, right, that this right here is one of our guys, right? He's one of our guys that's making it happen on the front lines, doing the work. So we just came out of, last month was Domestic Violence Month, right? And so we had Malik, and we had Denise on here for Domestic Violence Month. And it's amazing. I heard somebody say, so do we consider trans people to, is it real that they go through domestic violence, right? So we had to have that conversation because duh. You're like, what do you mean? Is it? Of course, right? And so for us, it's all about us normalizing that we go through domestic violence, like that we experience it as well, and that there is a safe haven for us, right? And so I say all of that to say, like, when I say domestic violence, what do you hear?
So as a trans person myself, as you pointed out earlier, for me, it's multi-level, right? It comes from also within our transition, right? Transitioning from when we were assigned at birth to how we present now, and feeling like nobody loves us. Right?
Absolutely. Like we don't exist.
Like we don't exist. If I do this, nobody ever's gonna love me, nobody's gonna understand it. And in that, you start to accept people who can take advantage of that, who are opportunistic, see that weak spot in you and say, hey, I'll love you, but I can't love you out loud. Right. I gotta love you in the back room or to the side, like, and all these other ways.
But don't want nobody else to love you.
Don't want nobody else to love you either. So that's when that violent piece comes in. Like, if I can't have you, no one else can. But you won't love me out loud like someone else may be willing to. And I think also, as a trans person, we need to break down what domestic violence is. People too. We need to break down what domestic violence is, because I think we sweep some things under the rug as, this is just who they are. Or this is just how they, a part of their character. Well, a lot of times that stuff is not okay. As a trans person, my partner does not get to misgender me. You don't get to continuously misgender me and not think that that's not domestic abuse.
Absolutely, because it is.
Because it is.
I feel like there's a misnomer that when people say domestic violence, they automatically think about fighting,
they think about violence,
and it's so much more than fighting and violence. It has to do with catcalling. It has to do with someone disrespecting you. Like we also talk about quite often here about being survivors of sexual assault, right? We have this campaign that we have going on called Healing Through the Highways, where we go different places, right? Offering services and as well as offering our community a space and place to talk about how they've survived sexual assault, and so like with violence, right? Talking about domestic violence, when we talk about sexual assault, people think it just has to do with sex.
Yes.
And it's so much more,
much more
than that, where people don't even know that they've been sexually assaulted, right? By somebody saying something to you, somebody having control over you, making you believe that you are less than, and that you have to accept whatever they do. You have to accept that violence that they're going to give you because you're being told that no one else is going to love you.
Right, absolutely. Violence comes in many forms, and it's not always, well, importantly, yes, physical, namely, but it's not always the way in which it comes, you know. And as trans people, sometimes we accept all of the things because we don't know what our worth is, and it's all balled up into, how we were conditioned to think a certain way, to believe a certain way about sex and gender and the difference between the two and how they relate to each other and all of these things, So again, I think we have to, and culturally as a Black person too, break down that thing as well, because a lot of behavior we grew up seeing was absolutely domestic violence.
Oh my God.
But what goes on in your house
stays in your house. And that's why it never gets healed, right? Because nobody wants to talk about it. Thus, why we have Twoc Talk Thursdays, right? Because we need to talk about it. We need to get it out. Because when you get it out, you can get help. When you get it out, you can finally begin to get some kind of healing. Absolutely. Because healing starts somewhere, right? And it starts with, first and foremost, acknowledging that there's a space and place inside of you that needs to be healed. Right? Yep. And if we don't get it out of us, then it never gets healed. And a lot of us come from those Black homes that we were told what happens in this house stays in this house, just like what you just said. And so things never get healed. And then those that child who experienced domestic violence, or watch mommy get beat up, or watch daddy hit mommy, or mommy hit daddy, right? Or watched our aunties and uncles fighting, right? So then we grow up and we become those adults because no one ever talked about it. We become those adults because no one ever talked about it, and thus we have a world full of people who are broken, who are messed up, who are destroyed, and then on top of all of that, go figure, we're trans.
And that's so important that you said that, because that's part of a lot of my talking points is when we talk about normalizing, because number one, what's normal in 2023, almost 2024, what's normal. But I like to liken it to commonalities, right? Finding those common threads between trans people and non-trans people, trans people and non-binary people, trans people and intersex people. And we have more in common than we do different, right? And some of those experiences are experiences just like we talked about, childhood experiences with SA, childhood experiences with all of these horrible things that happen to us that also happen to non-trans people, So I think it's always important to draw that commonality, to draw that line between us and non-trans people or people who don't, identify as LGBTQI plus, because there's this misconception that we're so vastly different from each other. But we're not. And it maybe it's cliche to say,
but we're not.
We are not, though.
We are people too.
We are people
and it is high time that we stop allowing ourselves to be othered.
Yes.
Right. And so that is one of the pleasures for me of having Mr. Sebastian Smith here, knowing that he is doing the work so that we're not othered. He's doing the work so that laws get to change. And like he said, not just for us, for everybody. But of course, we're talking about specifically us. So that's why we're talking about us, right? We keep saying us because it's about specifically us. And it is a blessing to know that we have people on the front line, such as yourself, such as ourselves here at the Healing Project, myself, Toy, and Dash, doing the work so that we get to a space and place where who we are becomes normalized, whatever that looks like. Right? And if it just looks like us being looked at as equal or looked at just as humans, then I think that we've actually done something, right? And so the only way that we get to do that is by continuing to do the work. And we do the work through Twoc Talk Thursdays. We do the work through Sebastian's job. We do the work in our Did You Know on Twoc Talk Thursdays. We do the work through Healing Through the Highways. We do the work by getting in community, getting the knowledge and information that we need to be able to disseminate out there, because at the end of the day, if we don't vote, right? And that brings me right to that voting thing, right? Thank you so much, Samiko says, proud of both of you. Thank you for being here, Samiko. We love you.
Yes, we do.
Yes, that's our sister. We love you. We need to vote, right? And so that brings me to that. So we have our a campaign coming up about voting, right? And so we've got to vote. A lot of people says a lot of times that, oh, my vote ain't gonna make a difference, but it does. But it does. And if you don't allow your voice to be heard, that's why laws get passed that are always against us and not for us.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it too is, and I'm gonna be real and transparent because I feel like I can do that. A lot of times you hear vote, 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 which is also very important. But we oftentimes don't talk about the educational piece around voting, like teaching people how to vote, teaching people how. When I say how to vote, I mean physically how. I know there are people well in their older ages of life who have never went to vote. Or the first time they voted is when Obama ran because it was a black person running.
Right.
So we're talking about our elders who don't know what to expect, don't know what documents to bring, all of these things. So I think a part of it is getting some literacy around being civically engaged and what that looks like. So you can feel like you're informed about the process. You know what to expect. You know what's going to happen. A lot of us, if you did not know, there are sample ballots that you can research right before you go vote. So you can see what you're going to expect. So you don't have to just go all the way down the ticket and pick them. I'm just Democrat. This is Sebastian speaking. Pick Democrat down your ticket just because that's what's there.
Right.
You can actually go in and I take my sample ballots and I Google all the people. If I don't already know who they are, I Google their campaigns.
Absolutely.
I see what they stand for.
What they stand
for. I see what their stance is on trans things, on black things, on LGBTQ plus things, and all of that before I go to the ballot box. And that's your right to do. You can do that so that you feel informed about going because it does matter. And also what we have to do is understand how this thing works. And that feeds itself right back into education too as well, right? We gotta stop just voting at the presidential election. It's important.
But them small elections.
That's how you change your local environment. The folks right in your neighborhood, school boards, even your HOA, like all of these smaller elections that are happening in your counties, in your cities. That's where we make changes on a local level. Yes, go out and vote for your presidential candidate of choice. Absolutely. But also vote for your governor. Also vote for the mayor. Also vote for your commissioner.
City councilman.
Because guess what? We have these events. Like we have one coming up on TDOR on so if you don't know, Trans Day of Remembrance on November the 20th at City Hall. These are all our elected officials that we're inviting to be in these spaces, and they want to hear from us.
And you need to be there. And we're going to get into that. Yes. And so while we're talking about voting, before we go any further and begin to talk about all that we have going on in November and what November represents for us, we're going to bring Dash in, and Dash is going to do our Did You Know segment. I'm going to add Dash, and there is Dash. I'm going to unmute Dash. Dash, welcome to Talk to Me Thursdays. Of course, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you do the Did You Know.
Hey, Raquel, how's it going? Hey, Sebastian. How are y'all doing? Sebastian's one of my favorite people. I had the pleasure of meeting Sebastian at Biomedical last year in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have a theory, Sebastian, called vote for the dog catcher. That is the lowest position on the totem pole in some municipalities. You actually have to vote on the dog catcher in the corner. And the reason why I say vote for the dog catcher, and that's my theory, and I don't care if someone steals it, I'm giving it to the world, it's free, it's just mine to give, is because every position from the school board, I know people are like, I don't have no kids, I'm not voting for the school board, but they're going to ban books. They're going to write policy that affect your kids. When I say policy that affects your kids, I'm talking about policy saying that don't say gay, don't books about things that gay interactions that children should actually know or teens should actually know. Health education surrounding HIV and STDs. The CDC just put out a report on last year where it went from, they said STDs are starting to show up in the age 13 and HIV infections are ranging from the age 14 to 25, and that's at a higher rate than normal when they last did the study back in 2018. So that's a matter of concern. So do you really don't want to vote for the school board because it's going to affect you. So right now, coming out, we had a red alert come across our desk, and no matter what you do in this field, I'm more than sure someone got this email. I got one today from SAG. So SAG is asking us to contact our senators, our congressmen, and urge them not to vote. So we have a bill that's going to be proposed tonight at 1 a.m. Why 1 a.m.? When we do business during business hour. And that bill is going to be to cut funding for HOPA. That's housing opportunities for people living with HIV. And that will affect over 61,000 people just in the Georgia area alone. Just in the Georgia area alone. So if a person that's already at risk and have a compromised immune system and have some type of inefficiencies, and it's a program provides some type of assistance or some type of housing choice voucher for them, they're at risk of losing that. That not voting, that affects you. That if God forbid that you may become HIV positive and you may become terminal ill, you're going to need some type of assistance to living. So now it turns into more of a humanitarian thing. It's more of a holistic thing. So it's very imperative that we get out and vote. We have to vote. I can't tell you who to vote for, but you want to make sure their principles align with you. Often when people say I'm voting for a candidate, the first thing come out of my mouth, how does this person's views align with your views? So whenever I'm picking a candidate, as Sebastian said, he compared them online and see what they stand for. I want to know, how does it affect you as an individual? So I want you guys tonight to call your local congressman, no matter where you live at, whether you live in Georgia, whether you live in Mexico, whether you live in New York, whether you live in Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is a call, a cry, a call to action for everybody. And that's all I have. So that's a very important thing. I need you guys to get out and start calling your congressman. Go to your local government website and find out who your local representative is, because they're trying to pull the rug from underneath us without us knowing. They didn't think that we would find out about this. And I urge you guys to follow SAC. I urge you guys to go out and follow the Human Rights Campaign. I urge you guys to follow HIV.gov, because they keep us all abreast of what's going on in the community. Thank you, Raquel, for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dash. We appreciate you. Did you know? And we want to every week make sure that we bring you information that you may not know, may not have known about, right? And so that brings us into the month of November. We're here. And so the month of November is very big in the LGBTQI plus community. So we want to just give you some information on all of the events and things that we have taken place. On November the 15th, there will be, November the 17th, will be a benefit for education. November the 15th through the 21st is Trans Awareness Week. So that's where I start out with that 15th. The 15th through the 21st is Trans Awareness Week. And then it's starting out on the 17th. It's a benefit for education, a T-Door celebration of life. I'm going to be hosting it, and it's going to be an amazing formal attire event, and it's for you to be there, right? And you want to be there because you want to show up. It's a benefit for education. And listen, they're trying to take education away from us. They don't want us to learn, because if we have knowledge, then we've got power, right? Mm-hmm. And so we need to be sure to support all of the events that's going on. And if you want any more information, you can reach out to NOMO organization, that's NOMO organization, in partnership with the LGBT Institute at the National Center for Civil Human Rights. The National Center for Civil Human Rights is where the event is going to be held at. And again, that is on the 17th. And so any more information that you'd like for that, you can reach out to NOMO organization. That's NOMO organization. And so I'm going to have Sebastian talk about the next event that we have going on.
Absolutely. As we steamrolling our way straight through November, I can't believe it's
already
to be a new year.
So we have made it like one more month, and we're starting over again.
This is year just flew away. Since COVID, I've lost track of time. Like everything.
I think we all have though.
Yeah.
Because COVID has completely changed the trajectory of all of our lives.
All of our lives. Yep. And then you don't realize like it took away like a year and a half, 2 years of our lives too. Like we were just locked down, like
stuck in
the house.
Thank God for loving who you're at home with,
right?
Baby. And even loving them can be a little bit much.
I love you, my wife.
Because
you don't get me in trouble.
I'm not trying to get because I ain't trying to get myself in trouble, right? But the blessing is that you love who you were with, right? Mm-hmm. And so what it actually was, I believe, is COVID for those people in relationship or those people married. It was a test of that. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. So if you could make it through that, because it made us realize how much time that we don't spend at home. That we don't spend with the people we love, right? And so it made us, because travel wasn't something that was happening. And if you travel, it was just too much hassle to even try to travel. So you stayed home. And then what I want to say before we get into what else is going on in this month, guys, COVID is still out there. There is a new variant out, and you need to take care of yourself. You take care of yourself. Like, point blank period, you need to take care of yourself. And when you find yourself in spaces and places with real large crowds, right? Make sure that you done took something. You done took some what they call that stuff, emergency. You need some elderberry. Like, take care of yourself, because it's out here and it's a whole new variant. Right. And so we thought that when COVID first came out, because it was over in China, we gonna be fine, and it came right on over here and shut us down. Shut us all the way down. Like, shut us down. I'm from New Jersey, right? So that means I'm close to New York. I've never seen New York not doing this, right? New York went from this to this. You know it's serious. That's when you know it's serious. New York went from this, and I'm talking about 24/7. I'm not talking about just during the day like it is in Georgia or in other southern places or out here in rural Georgia. No, because so at home where I'm from, we don't close, right? Mm-hmm. Especially not New York. It went from this to this. Not from this to this. No, it went from this to nothing. Like, it was like a ghost town in New York City. And so if we don't take care of ourselves, like, but by the grace of God, we can go back there again, right? So there's a new variant. Please take care of yourself. Please go to the doctors. And now we're going to go right back into what we got going on for the month of November.
Absolutely. So midway through the month, after these amazing events, we have November 18th. We are having Transmission of Color Healing Project, and I Am Human Foundation presents the I Was Here Memorial Gala 2023. Third annual. Exactly. So if you did not know, we are teaming up I Am Human Foundation and Transmission of Color Healing Project. We are teaming up this year and combining our galas and our award ceremony. Hey, that's what community is about, to make sure that we can celebrate each other together. The more of our movements that we can add together, the more coalitions that we can have, the stronger we will be together. I know it sounds cliche again, but I'm telling y'all, we are so much stronger together. So I am excited. My team is excited about this collaboration, and we're excited about our award recipients. So if any of y'all are listening right now, be watching out for your emails. So you should be getting them soon. Respond to us, confirm that you'll be there, and all those good things. So again, that's November 18th. We will have our gala. It will also be at the National Center for Civil and Human Rights, which is an amazingly beautiful space. If you have not been there, please go join us. And the address is located at 100 Allen Jr. Boulevard here in Atlanta. We will give all of that information and logistical details. Our event will be from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we really, really hope folks can come out and to support us. What you will start seeing is more social media advertisement about RSVPs, about ticketing, and all those things, so people can go ahead and start blocking their calendars off for this date. But you can officially let us know that you're going to come in just a few weeks. We'll get that information out, so we can start getting a tally and a count. So again, it's November 18th from 7 to 10:30 p.m.
And you get to get dressed up.
And you get to get dressed up. It's the gala. You get to get dressed up. Black tie event. We're going to celebrate some amazing advocates who have done some amazing work here in this community. We're also going to celebrate those folks that we've lost over the year, and also want to make sure we honoring those folks and call out those people's names and bring all of that amazing energy into the room. Some amazing entertainment.
Absolutely. So and guess what? Just a little tidbit, honey. There are two hosts, right? We have a host and a co-host. Well, I'm your host, and he's gonna be my co-host. Bam!
Bam. Yes, it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
It's gonna be an amazing night. I am ready. I'm looking forward to it. I'm
Yes.
so happy for this collaboration.
And so am I.
It's gonna be so
Absolutely,
much
yeah.
fun.
As the kids say, it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit, as the kids say.
And so I just want to say right now, do a shout out. Hey, Kendall, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And great showing, MBU weekend. Great showing, sir, with your handsome self. Great showing. And we want to say, Gemini D Star, say hello, beautiful people. Hey, Gemini, how are you? Listen, all you got to do is check in so we can say hello to you. And if you have any questions or you want us to talk about anything that you have not heard, remember, you can reach out to us right here at twochealingproject.org, or you can reach myself personally at Raquel, that's RAHKELH at twochealingproject.org, TWOC healingproject.org. And listen, so I also want to continue to let you know what's going on. So on November 19th, Healing on Purpose Spa, right here at the Twoc Healing Project. He got to see our spa today. And if I might say so myself, we have an absolutely beautiful spa.
Yes, it's the space our community deserves. We deserve this, and I want us all to feel that.
Yes, yes.
Amazingly beautiful.
Absolutely. So we have a space where you can do yoga. We have a space where you can get massages. We have a space where you can get Reiki done. We have a space where you can get doctor exams, right? We have a space, a healing space just for our community, and you ought to come and show up because we're doing healing on purpose, the spa, assisting community members with trauma-informed leadership techniques and holistic healing approaches right here at the Twoc Healing Spa, and that's on November 19th. Then the very next day, on November 20th,
absolutely, as we continue the theme of healing on purpose. So we all will be, a bunch of our community organizations and folks, allies and supporters, and all of our folks will be at the City Hall, right? We'll be at City Hall in downtown Atlanta for a town hall meeting. We have some vendors there. We're going to have amazing folks to come down and speak. I also will be moderating a panel that day as well. So I have some amazing folks to come speak on that panel. I won't give y'all too much because you got to be there to see it. Again, right. That is November the 20th at City Hall.
On Trinity Avenue,
on Trinity, I think it's 55 Trinity Avenue.
55
Don't
Trinity
quote
Avenue.
me, Google it, but I think it's 55 Trinity. And if you check out you all's page,
yes.
You check out
on the Twoc Healing page,
right? Twoc Healing page, and check out Destination Tomorrow because those are our sponsoring the event, and we're all partnering with them. Mm-hmm. If you check out Destination Tomorrow's page, you can see more information about this event. There's always already a flyer out, but again, that is November 20th, and this is all day, 11 a.m. to 5. We will be at the City Hall downtown in front of the folks that need to hear these conversations. Get there. These are the people that can make change. Like I was saying earlier, we talked about our voting and our voices to be heard and being civically engaged. Our, no matter the system, these politicians work for us, y'all. That's and right. If you're not coming to tell them what the problem is, they don't know. They don't know what to advocate for. And then also, they don't know that we holding them accountable to do exactly what they say they're going to do. So again, please join us November the 20th, which is also Trans Day of Remembrance. So be sure to come down and join us, and we will have some great, meaningful conversation in front of the stakeholders. Feel a way about that word, but in front of the people that need to hear it, they can really make some change.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some food, right? We gonna feed you, like so. Come on, you get a free meal, and you get to tell how you feel about what you feel, and we're all going to be able to come up with solutions collectively to change stuff in our favor, right? We're gonna come together, and so definitely that is not it. On the very next day, November 21st. The Trans Women of Color Twoc Healing Project, we will be having our Trans Giving, right? And so everybody doesn't have somewhere to eat. And even if you do have somewhere to eat and you want to eat early, you come eat with us and then you can still eat on Thanksgiving, right? And so we're going to have an amazing, fun day on that day. It's Transgiving, feast and celebration to celebrate the resilience and impact of the TGNC community, fostering unity, acceptance, and allyship. Trans giving. You want to be there. Our information will be on our website, where it's going to be and everything. But we want you to know that you can come and break bread with us, and we're going to have an amazing time, right? So I don't know if anybody knows anything about paint and sip. So we won't be painting and sipping, but we'll be painting and we'll be congregating.
I like
We'll be painting and congregating. How about that, right? And so we're going to plan to have a great time at our Transgiving, and we're going to have a good grocery because we know what Thanksgiving looks like, right? And we're calling it a Transgiving because it's for us trans people, right? We got to do some things for ourselves to celebrate us. Hey, baby, Malik is here. Hi. Do I need to act that excited? Oh, so hey, he said, hi, family. So Transgiving will be on November 21st, Healing on Purpose, Transgiving Feast. You know what the word feast means? That means a lot of food, right? Yeah, Transgiving Feast and Celebration to celebrate the resilience and impact of the TG&C communities, fostering unity, acceptance, and allyship. Listen, this has been an amazing Twoc Talk Thursday.
I enjoyed it.
Right, so that's what's going to So we are indeed going to have Sebastian, and y'all heard it here. He said it, that we got him. He's coming back. Yes, he's coming back. And so let's see, is there anybody that we missed? No, we say hello to Kendall, say hello to Gemini. And of course, we say hello to Malik. We say hello to him. Gemini said, I was just in Charleston Black Pride and was on a panel of, let's see, let me get this so I can see it. Okay. I was just at Charleston Black Pride that there was a panel of men with trans experience, and I want you to link with them, my friend, to spread knowledge to these young men, and we'll hit you up later with details. Wonderful. Yes. Gemini, because we all need to connect with each other because we all are family, right? And we are better together than we are apart. That is what this government system, how it is set up. It is set up to separate us. And the reason why it's set up to separate us, because if we're separated, then we can't get a job done. If we're separated, we can't get laws passed. If we're separated, we can't turn things around. And so we need to come together as much as possible because, to be honest, right, at the end of the day, we all are people. We all are human. Whether you are part of the LGBTQIA plus community or not, we're all people. There's a whole thing going on between the cis and those who are not cis. And all, honey, we are people, especially those of color, right? We need to stick together, right? Because God called us intelligent. And so the government wants us to fight against each other. That way our intelligence is not being challenged and or used because we're so busy fighting, right? So we need to stop fighting and we need to come together. So Gemini, I say all of that to say, yes, please send information and we can get connected. And we have our brothers such as Sebastian with the I Am Human Foundation. We also have Game Changing Men. That's our ED. That's her husband's organization. We have all these organizations, all of these organizations, right, that we need to actually come together. We need a vision for hope. All of these different organizations, and I don't want to get to calling out organizations and forget anybody, but listen, all these organizations, we need to come together and get the job done because we are one community. And we need to stick together and not be in all of these separate spaces and separate cliques and all that. We got to do this thing together because together we can stand and divided we will fall. Absolutely. It's cliche, but it's the truth.
It's the truth. And we got so many examples, right? We got so many examples of when we come together, what happens. You know,
yes.
We look at civil rights. You know, all of our people come to look what happened. You know, we are having more rights, although we're still fighting, right? You know, but when we collectively came together in the fight for gay rights, you know, with Marsha P. and Sylvia and all the other folks, you know, we came together collectively to win those rights. Marriage equality.
Yes.
It wasn't just on the back of one person or two people, but collectively all across the country,
to do it.
We had to come together to do it. And that's just with any of these other things. If we don't come together collectively, they're going to pick us apart individually. And then, you know, you would be mistaken, non-trans people, you would be mistaken to think that the attack is just solely on us. It's just a way for them to sneak and attack you. If you look at a bunch of these bills, there's language written in there that affects humans. regardless if you're trans or not, if you're cis or not, and we can talk about words and all that. No matter who you are, there are language in these bills that are going to affect human beings. When they have bills that take away women's right to choose, that takes away all women's rights to choose. Cis, trans, folks that blur the lines, folks that need those services, no matter how they present. So again, and these are all written from the same playbook. If you look at the sponsors of these bills and all these rules, it's coming from the same people. I'm not gonna give them names energy, but right. Google it. Mm-hmm. Google
talk about Nigeria.
Like what we're saying across internationally. Yeah.
It is sponsored by people here in America.
It is sponsored by people here in America.
That we eat at every day.
That we eat at every day. That we spend our money at every day. So you really have to look at these things because we're conditioned, because if we're separate, we don't know. They think we're not talking.
Correct.
So they're pulling us apart so we don't talk and compare and share notes. The system is not broken, people. The system is working the way it was intended to. It just was not intended for us. It just wasn't intended for us. So the system is working. In order for us to break the system, we have to recreate it. We're going to have to recreate it, And I think we have the power together collectively to do that. All of us, especially LGBTQ people.
Dash said Sebastian for office.
One of the things real funny was, and I like my house.
That's Dash talking, y'all. Dash is not on camera and Dash is talking. I don't know why, but Dash is over there and like Dash.
Well, I came out of my office. I found out with the bill to ban birth control, as Sebastian just said, it's to ban birth control for women, but it also gives them the same legislation the right to ban hormones. Mm-hmm. See, and a lot of people don't know that. They're like, oh, that has nothing to do with us. That's just the cis community. That's just something going on with the women. And why are we fighting for them? We fought for them last time. But really what they're doing is, it's like a straw effect. If I can take a woman's right to choose, I can go after that. So now let me go after affirmative action. Mm-hmm. So now they're coming at the minority loan program that a lot of Black people that we already struggle to get loans. Mm-hmm. So they're going at that and they're going to pull away at that. So when they're going after birth control pills and stuff of that nature that pertain to the cis community, now I'm going to come and I'm going to pull away at these hormone therapies and say, why should men that are born men transform into female, and why should they transform into male? And that it's all intertied together.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, what it's doing is it's pulling us further and further apart. So we have got to come together so that we can change laws. We can put in place laws that look like they are in place.
No, but elect people that look like us. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to worry about who's for us. There are a lot, and this is the thing, the people that look like us that are actually for us. Not just look like us, but we want them to look like us and be for us, both and. Yeah. So that's a two-sided coin. We want them to look like us and be for us. Yeah. So we've got to come together to get that job done. This has been an amazing Twoc Talk Thursday. We love you guys. Sebastian said that he will be back, and that means we're going to have him back and hold him to it because, as you can tell, this man has got what our community needs, right? And so we love you. Remember, we are here at Twoc Healing Project, Trans Women of Color, Twoc Healing Project on Twoc Talk Thursdays, giving you the information and coming to you with some words of encouragement and some words of knowledge, making sure that you get on the journey and get in the space and place where you can be on your road to being healthy, healed, and whole. This is your girl, Raquel. That's Sebastian, and that's Dash over there. And we thank you for showing up once again. And I saw that two people. Hey, Jada. Jada said, hey, family. Hey, Jada. And Marco, hi, sir. How are you? Hello. We thank you all for tuning in. Listen, we love y'all. Until next week, remember, healthy, healed, and whole is where we want to be. That's the journey we want to be on. So have a great week. We love you, and we'll see you next Thursday. See you. Who's the Evan? What's going on, Evan? Hey. What's going on, E? Need to call you. It's time to, fix some things, E. So everybody have an amazing day, and we'll see you next week. And have a safe weekend, okay? Have a safe weekend. We love you. Bye-bye. What do you say?
land. Hello, and we grateful that we in the land of the living,
Yes, we
and even more grateful that you're in the land of the living. We love you, E.
Absolutely. Yes, we do.
We love you. Bye-bye, guys.
All right.